4 teams, 9 combined losses, and the only team with a winning record is playing in Denver with a backup quarterback. Buckle up. We got Monday Night Football doubleheader to close out week 4. Let's make it happen. Yo, Dave Loughren here. As always, Monday nights, Thursday nights, Tuesdays, picks for every game. I got you covered for everything. Hopefully you guys had a great Sunday. Let's close it out in a big way. Not a bad week for me. We hit a good amount of our sides. You can go back on Tuesday and check that one out. But also, while my Travion Henderson plays did not hit, and boy, did I love that spot. We were all over the Kendre Miller spot, thinking he'd get more work. Laddered him to 30 yards with a plus 425 over there on tails. I told you guys, a lot of plays that you don't see here, only there, and they're free for the entirety of the season. So if you haven't done so, come follow me over there. Links in the description, or just go to tails.bet/Loughy, whichever's easier. Reason I say that, we are building an awesome platform. You can one-click tail bets. You never have to even add them into your bet slip. All of that stuff, right? But everything is free. All of the picks from a lot of sharp people. Why not come, hang out? We're building something great. And in the meantime, everything is free because we want to build this up as much as we can. And you know what? It's probably going to stay free as well. So check it out if you haven't. Come join me. Let's see if we can hit another banger tonight on this doubleheader. So hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you appreciate this content. And leave a comment down below. Let me know your favorite plays for today. I try and read and respond to all of them. Kicking it off with the Miami Dolphins at home, hosting the Jets, 2 0-3 teams in the, congregating in the cellar of the AFC East. I got to tell you, this game to me stands out as one where you may actually see some scoring. I know that seems counterintuitive, right? But like the Dolphins, 2.5-point favorites. This game has a 44.5-point total. They're playing on extended rest after actually keeping things competitive in Buffalo last week. And I mean, if you guys watch that, they were down 1 score, knocking on the door against Buffalo when Tua threw a brutal pick. He tried to look the corner away, and it just he tried to look him off, and dude knew exactly what he was doing the whole time, picked him off, and the game's over from there. The defense has been awful, largely awful for the most part. Things haven't been quite as bad on offense. Don't get me wrong. I don't love that Tua is averaging 6.5 yards per attempt with all the weapons he has at his disposal, but still, you look at the other side of this game, the Jets have been miserable in coverage. You lose DJ Reed, who just got hurt yesterday too, but you lose DJ Reed. You still have Sauce Gardner, who's not playing to the standards we saw in 2023 because he wasn't as good last year either. But they've struggled in coverage, and it's not only a surprise, but it's a reality through 3 weeks of the year. Can that change? Sure, but we only have what we have right now. And I don't want to overreact, but I think we could see some points in this one. And here's a couple other reasons, right? Like Fields looked awful in that game 2 weeks ago against Buffalo. They routed him, right? I was clearly on the wrong side of that one. He was great in the season opener against Pittsburgh, though. And when you factor in his mobility, you factor in Garrett Wilson just being awesome and Breece Hall having a good matchup on the ground, and I believe Breece Hall's good. I start liking the over 44.5 here. Genuinely do. You can get 44.5 on Bet365. You can get it on FanDuel. Don't take the 45 or the 45.5, because if we end up getting a 24-21 game, you're going to be super salty that you did. That number, that 1 point or half a point could be really important in a game like this. Another thing, you factor in the extended rest for Miami, playing at home as well. New York's poor defense, particularly in the passing game, this oddly feels like a recipe for points. So Miami typically produces better at home. Let me get the over 44.5 in this one. If I had to if I had to lay the points or take the points, I'd go Miami given the extended rest, but I really think this game could go either way. This is one I'm staying away from. All right, let's go Bengals at Broncos. We hit Broncos -7 earlier in the week in the picks for every game video. And again, guys, all of the stuff I post on Tails, you get that before the videos come out. You get that before I ever post it on Twitter, before I ever do any live streams on Twitter and all of that stuff. So if the lines move, which they often do, we want to be on the right side of them. Get in early when we can. It's at 7.5 now, not a monster move, but you're not getting that push in the event that they win by only a touchdown. If the Broncos were 3-0, they're 7.5-point favorites at home against the Bengals. Nobody would be surprised. No one would bat an eye. Yet somehow they're 1-2, losing back-to-back games on walk-off field goals, right? and they've been better than their record would indicate. The offense hasn't looked quite as good, and the secondary at times, like Quentin Johnston going up against Pat Surtain and putting the business on him. I don't think anyone expected that, but I think that this secondary will come around. They're getting a ton of pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and the reason I think this is notable is because we saw Brian Flores dial it up last week. I know he brings more blitzes than Vance Joseph, but Vance Joseph doesn't need to. They can rush 4 and still get a ton of pressure. You saw what happened to Jake Browning in that loss last week, an unmitigated disaster for their offensive line and their offense as a whole. Yet Browning pressured 57% of dropbacks in Minnesota. He threw no touchdowns under pressure, 2 interceptions, completed 7 of 14 passes, but for 4.5 yards per attempt. It's just hard to think Vance Joseph doesn't prioritize the similar game plan, knowing how fragile Cincinnati's offensive line is. I mean, that's the way I see it. Now, I'll be honest, the 7.5, yeah, it screams take Cincinnati. I get it, but I kind of like Denver here. And look, yes, you have a lot of good weapons in Cincinnati, so Jake Browning should have a safety valve in some sense wherever he goes, but not if he's getting pressured. And their run game, particularly because they can't block, Chase Brown's been non-existent, which means Denver at home does have a distinct advantage on both sides of the field. Now, that doesn't always mean anything. We see odd things happen, like the Saints keeping things competitive. The Bills, the Dolphins keeping things competitive last Thursday is 10.5, 11.5 point favorites. Weird things happen. Hell, the Packers and the Dallas Cowboys tied 40-40 yesterday, okay? And everyone thought the Packers are going to come in and smoke them. That's why I said I don't like that game because Dak can just do strange things at home. This is football. And I hate betting against teams coming off a blowout loss, which is why we liked Atlanta a lot this week against Washington. But I do think there's one notable difference here, and I want to know what you guys think down below. The notable difference is that the Broncos are not flying high right now. This is not a spot where people are looking at the Broncos and just going, man, they are dominant. Like last year, they've lost 2 of 3 to start the season. They absolutely need to come out of the gate strong at home in this one. And if they don't, it could be a problem. So give me the Broncos minus 7.5. Again, if you guys are on the other side, would love to know why. And I get it. Plus 7.5 makes a lot of sense on Cincy. All right, let's do our 50% super boost on Bet365. It's back for Monday Night Football. If you're not on Bet365 yet, guys, do yourself a massive favor. I've been beating up Bet365 pretty good this year. Some of the softest odds out there, some of the best boost. And if you're new, with that link in the description, $10 deposit, $5 bet, $200 in bonus bets, regardless of whether your bet wins or loses. Don't pass up an opportunity to collect literal found money that wasn't there before. See what I'm saying? Plus, you can run it on big time parlays. And at the end of the day, if you lose it all, you're down $5 or $10. You're no worse for wear. Links down there. 21 years or older to gamble. Gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Here's what we're going with. All right, and let me see where the odds are because I just bet this one. We are at over 44.5 points for this Jets-Dolphins game. It's got to be a same game parlay, so we're going to do that. And then what we want is an anytime touchdown for Justin Fields, being that, look, he has 4 red zone carries in the 2 games he's played. He's got 2 goal line carries, 2 touchdowns, 3 inside the 10, leads the Jets in those categories, despite the fact that he has only played 2 games. Now, if you're betting this straight and you're not boosting it over on Bet365, don't do it there because the odds aren't as good. With the boost, it doesn't matter. Bet it at plus 220 on DraftKings if you happen to like this. And then we are going to go with my friend, one of my favorites. Yes, it is going to be Garrett Wilson. Over 63.5 receiving yards. The reason for this, very simple. Garrett Wilson is very good. I mean, this guy is one of the best in the league, except he's never had good quarterback play. 39% target share this year. Dolphins are allowing 80% almost completion percentage to opposing passers. He's very good. And it's not to say that Fields is great, but at the same time, we are talking about a guy who throughout his career has been able to boost his number 1 wide receivers. So if we boost this, let's see. A $30, because that's my limit over there, bet's going to pay us almost $300 with the boost. Lock it up. I'll throw that on the screen, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Picks for every game heading into week 5. Good luck, and bye-bye.